Welcome back to, I guess, our official episode numero uno, because the last one was a pilot, of the Fumbled Expectations football podcast with NFL news and coverage and fantasy football, I guess, conversation as well. Eventually I'll get an intro down, or I'll just, fuck it. Anyway.
There's some two weirdos talking about football.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
There you go.
We're not geniuses. We're not experts or sports pundits. We just like football.
I'm not a professional. I just do this for fun. Anyway, I
don't know what we're talking about half the time.
Right. Anyway, I'm Bronza, and this is my co-host, Lady Junk. And yeah, we are just going to get right into the meat and potatoes of what I guess would be on everyone's plate as far as the NFL goes. Super Bowl is over. Philadelphia beat Kansas City 40-22.
Taylor Swift can go back to her hibernation.
Dude, she got booed, man. That's fucked up.
The world can rest. The curse is over. Nah. I mean, why do you think they booed her?
I could see the case being made that, and this is something I thought about within a small pattern of what I've seen as far as the music industry goes, or people who enjoy music in general. I would argue that it seems like successful female artists receive a lot more, I guess, hate than most. And the only examples I can really give off of that would be like Britney Spears, Kesha, Lady Gaga, like that. Like, again, there's no genre like specific. It just seems like when a young female artist happens to be really, really successful really quickly, they receive a lot of shade for probably no good reason.
I feel like that is a conversation that has something entirely different to do than football.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah, I would, and I would love to get into it. Perhaps this isn't the best place. However, I will say that I'm when I heard the booing, I was remembering back to what you said about the NFL writers, kind of just perpetuating the narrative. So I wonder if perhaps the booing was part of the narrative.
Oh,
like they knew that the Chiefs were going to lose. They knew that the Chiefs were going to like choke, and it all started with the booing. Travis was like, "Man, they're knocking down my girl. I can't we can't let her go out like that." And they just get sweaty, and then they threw.
I mean, it honestly just felt like they didn't even show up. Like, they didn't score till the third quarter.
It feels like there was a lot of added pressure. Like, they knew that they were playing for the three-peat, and Taylor was there. I mean, there is a lot of additional unnecessary pressure. If like we're being honest,
yeah.
Beyond just the fact that they're in the big game, beyond just the fact that Patrick Mahomes is creating this dynasty that not many players or teams have seen before. You know, there is just a lot riding on this game for the Chiefs than the Eagles. However, the Eagles, I mean, they just had it. Like they had the momentum. They had the mindset of like, we don't have as much riding on this game, but we do, in the sense that it is us. It is up to us to kind of just like tear it down, I guess.
Right.
Making this sound a little more grandiose than a football game.
I mean, Jalen Hurts was also holding on to the grudge of like wanting to get back there, and then it just so happened to be they are playing Kansas City again. So like,
oh really? Is that he had like a?
Well, what was it? They played two. It would have been like 2 years ago, I think. They played.
Yeah.
They played in the Super Bowl. It was Eagles Chiefs, and they lost. And I guess that was like his motivating, like, driving factor. Like, we were here before, and we fucked up. We are not fucking up again. And
that's
like,
fair.
That was just,
Hey, that's that's good enough motivation, I think. Hell yeah. He tore it up. Saquon Barkley did great. The defense though.
Oh my gosh, yes. Like, holy moly.
Yeah, man.
Zero
They
blitzes all game. 4-man beat 5-man all day long. Like, what?
man, all those picks, just disgusting picks. Patrick Mahomes was not using his Spidey vision that day.
Oh, definitely not. I mean, Travis dropped the first 3 passes that were thrown to him. Like, that was kind of.
Yeah, it seemed like the pressure was on. Yeah, they didn't show up.
You really hate to see it. I enjoyed it.
Mm-mm.
But if you're a Kansas City fan, you really hate to see it.
It was I mean, we watched the first half, together, and it was fun because, we're rooting against the rivals, right? But then we were celebrating my father-in-law's birthday that day, and so we go over to his house and completely slipped my mind. We opened the door and there he was wearing a Chiefs shirt, and I'm just like, oh no, I've been rooting against your team this whole day, but I can't root, dude. Like, come on. Number one, they're just like, they're the new Patriots. Number two, they're the AFC West rivals. Like, come on.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I'm a Charger fan, but when it comes to this game, I can't. I don't know. I'm not a hater on the Chiefs as much as I was the Patriots, but when it comes to this game, I gotta go against them because I don't know. Enough's enough.
Yeah, agreed. I can agree with that. I was tired of it. Some things that I had noted about it, I believe I kept track of all the penalties properly. Kansas City had 7, Philadelphia had 9. Like, so the whole referee thing that had been going on all year long, couldn't use that in that game.
Yeah, no. It was fairly evened out as far as penalties go. What was it? It was definitely an offense game. Defense did not. Well, defense showed up for Philly,
right?
But I didn't see Casey doing anything. No, By the end of the game, you were looking at like 20 plus 30-point game. Yeah, that's all defense, or that's all offense.
Yeah, you had like we said, D-line did better than the O-line. Philadelphia had 2 interceptions in the first half. At halftime, it was 24-0. So yeah, it was kind of.
Oh my goodness, that shutout at the half. Dude, that was crazy.
It was pretty intense. Obviously, Jalen Hurts got MVP. I
disagree.
No, I knew and had figured he was going to get it, but like, I think maybe if we're not going by an award factor and kind of what we've been glazing for a little bit is Philadelphia's defense was the MVP of that game. Like, obviously you can only give out one award, but like, if I think the highlight of that entire game was Philadelphia's defense laying the smackdown on Patrick Mahomes. So
what like one of my favorite tidbits of that aspect is the rookie, the Philadelphia rookie. It was a corner, right? He intercepted the ball and ran it in for a touchdown.
I think he's a linebacker.
Is he? Anyway, someone on the defense.
No, he picked Deshaun. Yeah.
Yeah. Is he a linebacker?
Let me double check.
But anyway, he picked off the ball, ran it in for a touchdown. It was his 22nd birthday. And he was playing in the Super Bowl. And he ended up winning the game. Dude, like, what a fucking birthday.
Okay, no, cornerback. Yes, you were correct. Cornerback.
Might be. Yeah, good. But, like, yeah, that was definitely one of my favorite highlights of the game. The fact that you got this kid picking off the best quarterback in the league, and he runs it in on his birthday for a touchdown, the biggest game of his career. Like, that must have been a very special moment for him.
Dude, that game I lost my voice at the end of that game. Like, my throat was like completely destroyed from all the yelling.
Nah, I had to maintain decorum for the in-law.
But all in all, again, perspective
GG's.
wise, I enjoyed the game. Glad Philly won.
It was a lot. It was a much better game than I was anticipating. I was anticipating just a lot of three and outs, a lot of just field goals, not much action. You know, they seem to be both fairly matched teams, and yeah, I wasn't anticipating Philadelphia offense going off the way they did. Holy crap!
Yeah, that was
They
definitely.
they ate their Wheaties that day.
Yeah, definitely it feels good. Definitely feels good. My favorite commercial, by the way,
Oh
was
yeah,
that
commercials.
the cold foam commercial with the tongue.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
oh God. We got to get like a screenshot in there or
I'm
something.
sure I could find something.
But we what was I gonna say? What was another good one? The seal. I think it was like a Mountain Dew commercial, and then they put seal on a seal singing "Kiss from a Rose."
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember that. Yeah, 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 yeah. That was pretty funny. That was pretty
That was
funny.
good. And then the mustache one with Andy Reid's mustache flying away, and
Oh,
like
you had the eyebrows too.
eyebrow
Yeah,
one, yeah, with Eugene Levy. Man, those are great. It was a good year for
it
commercials.
was actually a pretty good year for commercials. They brought
Yeah,
back the baby
puppy
puppy
monkey
monkey.
baby.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
thing.
puppy monkey baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, uh, good times. But commercials. Yeah, that was pretty good. What else? What else? Uh, as far as commercials go, didn't I don't know.
That was like I said. That was the only one I wrote down that like actually made me laugh super hard because I won't lie. It was
The tongue one.
yeah. That one was really
You
an
enjoyed the
interesting.
mustache one.
No, of course, but I'm
The
saying like
Andy Reid's mustache flying away.
just like
It
I
hit your
just
cringe.
it just was so out of left field
You just
for cold foam. Like
it's foam. You ever drink a cold foam before?
no, I don't.
Well, when you finish it up, the foam stays on the cup, and so you gotta, you gotta get in there a little bit. Anyway,
Um, that's kind of all I got about the Super Bowl. That's really all I think.
really? Okay, we're not gonna talk about the halftime performance.
I mean, if you want to talk about the halftime performance, you could talk about it.
Did you watch it?
I did watch it. Yeah.
I went back and I watched highlights of it. I was we were driving at that time, so but what did you think of it? It's
So
Kendrick Lamar's second performance at the Super Bowl, so
it
but it's
was
like his main one.
it was good. I enjoyed the songs that he had played. I didn't really. So I don't care about the contra. It's not even
Oh,
controversy.
the
Just
beef.
people are yeah. There, I guess that's
It's
the
the
best way to put it.
beef. Yeah.
Like I have never looked at the halftime show as being a musical choice that would appease the fans of the NFL. It is simply just a musical show. Like it doesn't matter if it's country or rock and roll or anything like I guess like because people could argue American football is like as American as like apple pie, like with
I
baseball, like that
mean,
kind of traditional stuff.
yeah.
I don't the the music performance does not have to align with those
Ideals.
stereotypes. I guess ideals. I don't just what I mean. Like
Okay.
we could just have they could have done like the Blue Man Group, and like I still think that would be a good halftime show. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't the genre of music isn't what makes the Super Bowl. Like it is literally just music for your entertainment while the teams go, talk in the
Right.
locker room. Like
Well, Yeah, it's supposed to be, I mean, that's what halftime is, isn't it? It's supposed to be kind of like that time for the teams to do their adjustments, but also providing entertainment to the viewers. And considering this is the biggest game of the season, it is the most watched game in the world. If anything, it's one of the most watched televised events in the world. You know, it gets millions and millions of views. But that being said, I feel that they're going to pick a talent that is relevant to those current events, I guess. And Kendrick Lamar has like the hottest hit, you know, in the year at the moment. With
No, yeah,
that,
of course.
and it just is moving on from a football podcast to a music podcast.
We were going to talk about it eventually. I mean, it's just kind of like,
my gripe is that Kendrick is a super solid rapper. He is so intelligent in what he does, and then he pulls this out. I understand it's a diss, but it's like this diss track has become like a sensation. Everyone loves this diss track. Everyone loves the A minor. You know, did you see that? The entire freaking stadium,
he's like literally.
Oh my goodness! Like
it wasn't that was not like I'm doing this for the show. Like I'm looking at you, Drake. Like that was literally what like.
If people weren't invested in the beef before, they definitely are now, because like this has kind of spawned a whole thing. He brought in SZA and Serena Williams as part of the performance. Both of them dated Drake. You know, it's just like just multiple levels of subtle saltiness that's just brought in, and America just feeds off of it.
Oh yeah, we love.
We love
it. Eat it up.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was for pop culture's sake, it was a good performance. For Super Bowl and as far as Super Bowl halftimes go, it was okay. Creed had the best one.
I mean, at least it wasn't Bruce Springsteen.
Creed, yeah, no, I agree. But yeah, Creed had best halftime performance. behind Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake.
All in all, yeah, that one was pretty good. Yeah. But I'd say all in all, I give this Super Bowl, I'd give it 8 out of 10. It's pretty good.
Wow, that's generous. Okay. I wouldn't say, yeah, I mean, I'll give it 6, 7, sure. Yeah, it was good. It was good. I enjoy offensive matches more than defensive matches. Yeah.
So that's all I got about the Super Bowl.
That's fine.
I can't really think of.
Besides celebrity appearances.
I mean, there's all that.
Presidential appearances. What else? No, that was about it.
Felt like Tom Brady casted a pretty good. Like,
actually, yeah.
I enjoyed his. I guess he would be the color commentary in that situation, right? Like,
color commentary. Considering,
or was he more the analyst? I can't really. I can't. So like,
I don't remember.
As far as like commentating goes, for I guess for me, because what I'm invested in for like esports, you can tell who's like the play-by-play, the color commentator, and possibly the analyst. As far as like different positions, maybe the way I look at it, I think Tom was actually the color commentator, and then I'm sorry, I really forgot his partner would be play-by-play. His partner. I can't remember who called it because I'm so used to like Al Michaels doing it.
I never noticed that. That's cool. I would imagine Brady being more of the analyst, considering that he is like, you know, the guy who's been in it. He knows all the plays. He knows the routes and whatnot. He can define each play for what it is. Like it's for exactly what it is, because he's probably played that play before as well. And then the other guy just provide color commentary, but I'm sure the other guy used to play the game as well. So
Kevin Burkhardt.
Is that who it was?
Yeah.
Okay. Is this the first Super Bowl?
He was play-by-play. Yeah, no, Kevin Burkhardt was play-by-play. Yeah, Tom Brady would
Okay.
be considered color commentator.
Was this the
Um,
first Super Bowl that Brady was commentating, or is this like the first season that he's a pundit?
uh, let's see. These are interesting questions. Yeah, I think that was his first one.
It. I think he's settling into his role really well. Like he went from being star quarterback to like this analyst, this guy like who's just constantly in front of a camera. He looks good. He was made for this shit.
He's called he's called quite a few games. This list I think only shows from.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
no, no.
I
He
remember.
so he called one game in 2023, and then he called games in week 6, 7, 8, 9, and then the Buccaneers versus the Eagles. I think in the playoffs, and then the Super Bowl game. So
Oh okay. No, he's been doing really well.
agreed,
I think he's.
agreed.
I think he. I mean, he was one of the best quarterbacks, but it's like he does. He's out of the league. It's over. He does just as good a job in his commentating as he did being a quarterback.
Agreed. No, and I definitely think
He's
his years of experience definitely adds the flavor to the commentary.
but
Like you said, he
it's
knows what's coming. He can kind of see what's going to be called, the situation of
it's
what one would want to do in a
but it's one thing to have the experience. It's another thing to have the articulation, to be able to stand in front of that camera, to be comfortable, to know what you're saying and to express it, to look good in it, to have all the mannerisms and the
right.
know-how in front of that camera. I don't think that's necessarily taught, or it is, but it can be like you can tell.
Well,
Like you ever see Gronkowski doing commercials compared to Andy Reid doing commercials? Compared to
it's guys with
uh
PR like that. Anyone who's dealt with PR in the league probably knows how to at least talk in front of the camera.
you're probably right, and I feel like given the level of celebrity, perhaps they get a little more practice, or they have like an assistant or some
Right.
publicist that's helping them out. Yeah, yeah, but you could definitely tell like what players are used to it, perhaps used to getting all that attention and knowing what to say and how to say it in a way that's charismatic. But then there are these other guys who are just straight up jocks who are just like reading from a script, and you can just tell they are.
Right.
No, it's enjoyable.
So, yeah. So we are officially in the off season, the most boring time of the year.
The waiting game, and so we're just licking whatever scraps of the past season
For real.
as we wait for the drippings of the combine to come
67
in.
days till the NFL draft.
When's the combine start though?
uh, let's see. 11 days.
Okay, that's doable. Do you watch the combine?
No, but I definitely do take a look at results.
Right. I enjoy it's fun watching them take their tests. Like you got the vertical leap and the
Mm-hmm.
20 meters and all that. Yeah. I enjoy watching them, especially the big guys, the big defensive ends running the 40-yard dash or whatever. Like some of those guys can run, man, and they're like
Yeah.
300 pounds.
Yeah, some of those guys can
Ridiculous.
move. I think
Yeah.
I remember seeing a YouTube short. I think it was last year, maybe it was the year prior. Some dude's wiener slipped out in the 40 yard.
Oh.
Yeah.
No,
Actually,
I
hold
did
on.
not
I
see
think I
that.
can find that video.
The best thing, actually, if we're talking about like wardrobe malfunctions during like games and stuff like that, can we talk about Derrick Henry and him slipping out the him getting his cake revealed during what was it? It was a Thursday night game, I think it was.
Mm,
Did you watch? Did you see that?
no. The only cake I ever saw that got like exposed was a Dallas game
So
years ago.
okay, this was yeah, it was a Thursday night game against the Browns. He got a handoff. His defender pantsed him pretty much.
Oof.
Yeah, you got them
Oh,
king's
okay. No.
cheeks
Yeah,
on.
yeah. Okay, now I remember what you're talking about. Yeah. I remember that. I remember that.
Yeah, the memes were a flowing.
I'll send you that video.
Oh, okay. Let's see it. Oh, it's Travis.
Mm.
And he fell. Oh no! Did he? Oh, bless you, are. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! It shot him! No! Oh my god! Oh my god! I was like, thank God they're showing it from the side. Usually they have a front-facing camera too. And then at the end they saw, oh no! Oh, that's awful. That's
Damn,
awful.
son.
That's bad.
Where'd you find that?
Uh, oh my god. Oh well. Yeah, let's watch the combine, Robert. uh yeah, no, I was not aware of that. Anyway,
I died
I
laughing when I saw that.
but the what I enjoy about the combine is that they really highlight and they showcase all these college players. And honestly, maybe that's our bad for not paying more attention to college,
Oh
or
yeah,
maybe like
I've
I ain't got time to follow college football like I do, professional football. I got to pick one.
I can't do both.
Uh,
Yeah, I can't do both at the same time, or else like it'll
yeah,
literally consume everything I do like every day.
it would take over my life. Yeah, absolutely. Uh, but it's a good opportunity to look at all of the prospects. Like we know what each team, well, we don't know what each team needs, but us, Charger fans, we know what our team needs. And so watching the combine, it's like a little, it's a nice little buffet of like, this guy looks good. How could he fit into our offense? This guy looks good. How could he fit into, these routes and whatnot? So yeah, I enjoy watching the combine.
I mean,
These
there's
fresh young faces.
yeah, I mean there's plenty of different websites that have different like speculations of what each team needs. So I
Right.
mean, you get that at
Right.
least you can use that as like a baseline. But again, it's just more of interesting of like I think more so like for me, it's exciting to see who goes in the first 3 rounds, and then after that, it's kind of like it's more of like potentially which team finds a hidden gem. You know what I mean? Like,
But who's to say with like you never know.
that's what I'm saying.
You know, like yeah, you remember so many people put faith into Caleb Williams. He was supposed to be the star, but Jaden Daniels kind of became that guy.
Right.
And yeah, there are a couple of examples that come to mind when it comes to like missed investments or just over investments on a rookie and they just didn't produce. I can't think of their names at the moment, but like yeah, there's just one guy that comes to mind from this season. I think it was it for the Commanders? I don't remember, but the one franchise puts just so much money and effort into obtaining this rookie, and then once he comes to the team, he just poops. He doesn't do anything.
I mean, you could maybe argue Marvin Harrison Jr. like didn't really meet expectations.
Yeah, you're right. He was on my fantasy team. I had
Yeah,
expectations for him.
yeah, yeah. He did.
uh,
I mean,
if
JJ
we're on,
McCarthy, he got injured. Like, he wasn't able to perform.
yeah.
So, um, but I guess we'll just quickly move over into some news before we go off because we're gonna talk about obviously rookies and the draft expectations, or at least I would like to get there. We'll see if we do actually
Sure.
get there or not. But to kind of at least get some news for around the league, uh, obviously Kansas City doesn't want Travis to retire. Travis Kelsey,
Mm-hmm.
he might. It's I guess maybe some teammates have been reported saying that like it can't like we can't end on that. Like you got to give it one more chance. Like, but with how it looked like he played, some supposed reports of relationships with other teammates on the team affecting his possibly his like mental or the way he's looking at maybe wanting to continue to play. There could be a chance that his brother, he's in talks with his brother and seeing how much his brother really enjoys like retirement and, maybe the idea of keeping his body healthy so that when he gets to his 50s and 60s, like he's not like all banged up. So that's at least as far as the Chiefs go, that's the only thing I've heard come out of that team. There are 4 teams that Aaron Rodgers can go to. The supposed teams are going to be Raiders, Giants, Browns, Steelers.
Who do you think would benefit most from him?
Browns. I think he goes Browns.
Yeah. No, you're right.
I feel like that
Or or
organization has
or
just always made poor choices, and they'll just go with that one.
I mean, the Giants could also use him too.
Yeah, but the Giants have. I think the Giants unfortunately believe in their in a oh gosh. I should know this.
Exactly. Exactly.
I think they believe in um Tommy DeVito.
Danny DeVito? Wow.
Tommy DeVito. Tommy.
What was I gonna say? Going back to Travis Kelsey though.
Mm.
He's a tight end. How long has he been playing in the league?
He's been playing since 2013.
Since 2013. Okay. Now, I am since 2013, so that's about 12 years now, 10, 11, 12 years. I'm looking at Tony Gonzalez's history. He played from 97 to 2013. So what does that make that? That's like 16 years. So he's getting up there, Kelsey. Actually, since we're on the topic of hot shot tight ends, what about Antonio Gates, our newest Hall of Fame inductee? Gates played from 2003 till 2018. So he played for 15 years. Yeah, that sounds okay. So yeah, Kelsey playing for 12 years. It makes sense for him to want to consider retirement around this time. Maybe Taylor is whispering something in his ear about settling down, or I do think a lot of that coverage and a lot of that added exposure perhaps may have played a role, but I don't think too much. He's probably super good as far as like he has a couple of rings. He's one of the most recognized players in the league, so I'm sure he's getting massive endorsements. He has good cash flow. He's doing really well for himself. I don't blame him for going out when he's up. I'd rather, go out on top rather than fizzling out. Because at the moment, it kind of seems like they've hit the peak.
Yeah,
And
I
they're kind
would.
of they're kind of, rounding it. Yeah. I wouldn't say they're going to go downhill. I don't think they're going to plummet, but there's a new sheriff in town, so to speak. There are new players that are starting to show promise.
Right.
It seems like we're entering a new era. I didn't think Kelsey was all that old, honestly. He still plays really well. Like I said, with the Chiefs being the new Patriots, there's there are obvious similarities between Mahomes and Kelsey, Brady, Gronkowski. Uh, Gronkowski retired first too, huh? Between him and Brady.
Yes. Gronk retired
Yeah,
first.
yeah. So I mean, we'll see. That seems kind of echoing here too, with Kelsey talking about retiring. So who's Patrick going to throw to next?
I mean, you
Xavier
got.
Worthy.
Yeah, it's kind of. That would be your. Yeah.
Yeah. Who did who did Brady throw to after Gronk left?
I mean, I feel like Edelman was his guy until
Hmm.
he left until they both left the Patriots, and then I think Edelman went to. I think Brady left, went to Tampa Bay, and then the next year I think Edelman followed him to Tampa Bay, and that's when they won the Super Bowl.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, I think so.
Okay, so cohesion.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you got Edelman played his whole entire life or his whole entire career with Tom Brady, so
Yeah.
um,
No, it makes sense. It feels like home.
yeah. So why not go play with the guy that you've played with? You know his tendencies. You know how he's gonna throw the ball. You know how he wants to run the offense.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
your
it
man.
makes
Throw it to me.
sense.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah, they're good old friends. They know each other's dynamic. Yeah. No, it makes sense. Uh, do you want to talk about the Hall of Fame at all?
I mean, if you want to, you can. I didn't watch it. I don't really.
I didn't watch it too much. I just like I just I got stoked because they finally got Gates in
I
there.
know, right? Like
It
Jesus.
was
Like
about damn time, man. They put Gates, but they got Jared Allen in there, no problem. But then again, didn't Jared Allen he has a ring, doesn't he?
I don't know.
Or
He was just. I know he's dominant when he was in Minnesota. So.
yeah,
Um,
does he? No, he doesn't. Never mind.
but no, I just
Oh,
I do feel like as far as like tight ends go, it feels like to me a lot of people in the mainstream like sports media do not give, or it feels like people don't really give Antonio Gates a lot of like shout outs, I guess.
I do you think it's because he stayed on the Chargers? He was a
Yep, he was
lifer.
a lifer. Yep.
And do you think because of that, for the fact that he produced, but his team didn't? Do you think that may have been a reason why?
Possibly. I mean, you got to remember. I think also people like overshadow because he played with Rivers and Ladamian, or he played with LT. And then during his time period, Tony Gonzalez was in his prime. So like,
They
as far
were rivals. They were
yeah,
rivals.
yeah. So like,
Yeah.
um, yeah, just and then you had like at the end of his career, you had Witten was in the league.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
Olsen. Again, not a great receiving, but a lot of people consider Greg Olson a really good like blocking tight end. Um, that's what he was known for. Uh, I feel like Gonzalez just had like maybe like three really really good back to back seasons, and that kind of like that hype and buzz around that, like because he had just made the move from he left Atlanta and went to Kansas City, so
That was the move.
yeah.
I remember that. Um, I he as I'm trying to think. There was Kellen Winslow. There was Shannon Sharp. There was like there's not even a handful of tight ends that you could think of before Gates that made that position cool. You know, it's always been the linebacker. It's always been a running back. It's always been the quarterback that were like some of the most well recognized positions in the league. But then you see Gates at tight, and maybe that's my bias because Gates was the player that got me into football, but Gates was the player that made me a Charger fan. You know, like he's a special guy to me. But also like he is just he's one of the best players in that position to play the game, and his stats definitely say so.
Okay, I can kind of see where maybe. Okay, I guess I could see where maybe why he didn't get the recognition. Only had 2 seasons over 1,000 yards. One, two, three, 3 seasons at 900 plus. One, two seasons 800, and then just slowly, and then the last 3 years, he didn't have above 650. Or last
No,
4 years, he didn't have above 650. So
well, because I feel like at that point he was becoming more of a mentor. Hunter
mhm.
Henry came onto the team. A few other tight ends were coming in, so he was getting. Oh, and not to mention that was around the same time. What's his face? Mike Williams got drafted.
Yeah, and we
Keenan
started
Allen.
throwing. Yeah, we were throwing to the wide receivers a little bit
Mm-hmm.
more often.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, but also recognize that besides Tony Gonzalez, Antonio Gates is one of the. He's the only other tight end to have 100 plus receiving touchdowns.
true, true.
Yeah, and like I really enjoy the stats that you listed. He had a few seasons where he was 900 yards plus. He only what did you say? It was 2 seasons where he had over 1,000 yards
Yeah,
receiving.
yep.
Yeah, these are not horrible stats.
No, no, not at all.
These are like elite stats,
Especially for the tight end position in that era. So
absolutely, yeah, man. Not to in all of his Pro Bowl appearances, all of his All Pro selections. Like, yeah, he was great. He was
yeah,
great,
I'd say pre
and the fact
2012 tight end era of the NFL, he was probably like one of the most explosive receiving tight ends.
I think he also set precedence for the build, for the athleticism that a
Yeah,
tight end should take, considering how he played basketball in college. So he had that athleticism to be able to move more, to be more evasive, and he had the hops.
well, yeah, I think that's what it was too. You had a guy who was already tall, but then a guy who a quarterback could just toss the ball a little bit
Mm-hmm.
higher than how the whoever was covering him. So then you give him the jump ball basically like a rebound.
Right.
So
Oh man, that catch against the Broncos. But being a basketball player, you got to have solid hands there too.
right,
So
right.
yeah, he was an extremely well-rounded player. So good. Um, let's talk about. I like how we discuss that era of tight ends.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and if you look at the tight ends now, with George Kittle and the like, you see a different like positions, the way the positions are played evolve over generations. You know, like we got the quarterbacks are a lot leaner and they're more agile. You know, wide receivers tall, yes, but they seem smaller. You know, like a little more lankier, but they're able to still haul ass. Tight ends, a lot. They're also a lot leaner. Like it just seems like a more agile NFL. Like before, the league was very robust.
It was very traditional, and we had a lot of teams that relied very heavily on the run game over their passing game. So you needed stout guys on the line to block for your running back.
But it's not just yes, absolutely. But then if you look at the running backs as well, you know, if we looked at Michael Turner, you know, if we look at running backs like what's his face, Marshawn Lynch, these are giants of running backs. These are just they're like thick bulls, you know.
Yes, yeah.
But you look at the running backs nowadays, they're a lot smaller. They're able to fit through holes. They're able to, you know, I mean, not to say that they're not buff and they're not, you know, robust as well in their own right. They could definitely take hits, as we've seen with like Saquon Barkley.
Right.
But they're definitely, I don't know. It's hard to put my finger on it. Maybe we're just getting smaller as a society.
I don't know. I don't think that. I think we're getting larger.
But look at if you look at Steelers defense, you know, the if you look at the football teams that we used to have, football players that, you know, the Dan Foutses and the Ben Roethlisbergers, these are like tough sons of bitches, you know. Not to say that the players nowadays are not tough, but these fools are going to the blue tent on a twisted ankle. These guys are going to the blue tent because their pinky feels a little weird, you know.
I think because like the NFL's transferred into an offensive game now, that you want your star players to, you want to not baby them, but you want to always be checking up on them to make sure that the guy that is scoring you points is okay. Like
the guy who's scoring you points and making your franchise the mun.
Yeah, basically. So
because that's how that's how I'm looking at it at this point. These are the cash cows that you got to keep, you know, healthy.
Agreed. So yeah, that's glad Gates is in the Hall of Fame. Finally deserves it. So we can finally put that to rest. Let's see, where were we? Where Aaron Rodgers is going, says the Jets are giving up on him. I think Browns. I don't think any of the other teams really make sense. The Raiders shouldn't get him, honestly. I think that's a poor choice. Same with Giants. That's a pretty idiotic choice in my opinion too. You got two young guys that you can hopefully develop in the offseason, and there's no way with how Aaron Rodgers has behaved off the field with his supposedly with his staff that he would ever get anything that he wanted with Tomlin, the way he runs the Steelers. So
what happened with Rodgers and the staff?
I mean, it's just, I guess one of, I don't know if it's a joke or not, but apparently supposedly in a conversation that he had with demands that he wanted to stay with the Jets, either because he did this in the past or because he apparently talks about this on podcasts. One, they told him to stop going on the Pat McAfee show, and he didn't want to do that.
What's wrong with the Pat McAfee show?
Because he's talking a lot of crap. Like, he's talking about the organization.
McAfee?
No. Aaron Rodgers
was
he
was talking crap on his own organization.
Yep.
That's hilarious.
And then I guess the other thing is he wants to be able to take ayahuasca like while playing. I don't think like exactly like playing, but like while he's on the team, he wants to.
Is that a rule?
I mean,
Like,
I
is
they
there a
don't
rule in the league
they
against taking mind altering substances like that?
they probably don't allow people to be smoking marijuana. So I'm sure tripping on shrooms, ecstasy, doing cocaine, and anything else is off the list.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm just curious at this point. Um, Ayahuasca though, what's his problem? He's getting into his old hippie phase, I
I
guess.
guess I don't know. I mean, the dude came from Cal, like, so it doesn't surprise me.
Oh, did he?
I'm pretty sure Aaron
Berkeley?
Rodgers played. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Rodgers played for Cal. I'm like
Hmm.
95% sure.
So, the substances that they test for: cocaine, synthetic marijuana, amphetamines, like including Adderall, opiates, opioids, PCP, and MDMA. Uh, so, ayahuasca would definitely fall under one of those.
Probably.
Anti-estrogenic agents. Dang. Protein hormones. They're they're gnarly. I'm on the this is the NFL drug policy page, and yeah, some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Therapeutic use exemptions. You know, he could probably use that. If you have been or are seeking to be treated by a physician with banned substance for any condition, including ADD, ADHD, male pattern baldness, hypertension, hypergonadism, or hypopituitarism, must have your physician file a TUE application with the independent administrator. Test positive for a prohibited substance without having been granted that, it will constitute a positive test and you'll be referred to administrative action. Dang.
Yeah. So
Gnarly.
no happy fun times in the NFL
No
altogether.
mushrooms for you.
No mushrooms for you. So yeah. Um. I just want to see where he crashes and burns, what organization he steals money from next, and then if he ever,
Yeah, I mean, the Jets is gone. The Jets is over. That's the retirement franchise.
yeah, that's where all players go to die. So,
Yeah.
I mean, the Browns is another good option of players going and like their careers being over, but I digress. Okay, and then what else? Browns and Giants again. Get first visit. Right, I guess not rights, but they get basically first visits from Shadur Sanders, the coaches from Colorado. Why is his name escaping me?
Deion Sanders' kid?
Yes. His kid will get visits to Browns Giants first, and apparently the Titans had also met with him at the East West Shrine Bowl outside of Dallas. So we'll see where he goes. I guess between the Browns and Giants and Titans, who are the first three picks. I don't know exactly in what order
What's
off the
his
top of my head.
what's his position?
He's quarterback.
And Browns and Giants?
Titans have first pick, Browns have second, Giants have third.
Who's Haven't heard much about the Titans.
Will Levitt, I think is his name, is their
Mm-hmm.
quarterback. If they don't pick Sanders, they'll probably go with Cameron Ward, the quarterback from Miami. So
Right. Um, hmm. Well, if those three teams and if imagine the Browns take him, where's Aaron Rodgers gonna go?
well, I mean, you could still get Aaron Rodgers and have him as he could start for one season and mentor, kind of like what I said what last podcast about him doing that with the Raiders. I mean, it's not a bad decision,
It's a
really.
lot of money. That's
True,
a lot of investment.
but I mean that again, if you're going to invest in, I think one of those two quarterbacks who have done pretty well, yeah, I would definitely invest a veteran like mentoring them.
Of the current veteran quarterbacks, that are facing a similar situation like this, would you invest that much into Aaron Rodgers?
His knowledge, his game knowledge, yeah, that'd be about it. I wouldn't expect. I would basically whatever team gets him understands that, or their fan base should understand that they're in a rebuilding process, and you don't. You may not want to take the risk of starting a rookie and giving that franchise a bad taste for as long as he's there, and actually invest a season of mentoring with a guy who's um, been in the league for a long time.
Hmm. Okay. No, that makes sense. Uh
I think having an expectation of Jaden Daniels level performance is a uh, a 1 in a million. I don't think we'll see that again for another 5 years. And you don't really want to treat him like what happened to Caleb Williams or Drake
Bo
or
Nix.
well, I mean Bone. Yeah, that was
Bo
another one
Nix is doing
off.
well.
Um, or who else? The New England Patriots quarterback. Uh,
Oh man, I don't remember.
I've got it here. Hold on, give me a second. Drake May.
Ah ha ha.
I mean,
What
Spencer
was I gonna
Rattler didn't do too well as the New Orleans Saints QB, and then Michael Penix Jr. didn't get he just didn't get playing time. So
Yeah, Penix. I was really looking forward to seeing his name on the field.
I mean, same with JJ McCarthy. He got injured in the preseason, so that was kind of
That
unfortunate.
sucked. Dude, oh my goodness. Like I that's horrible. Can you imagine? You're about to hit the big time
And you
and you
showed
just get injured.
promise. Yeah, and you got it. Yeah, you showed promise, and
Yeah.
then you end up getting injured. So
Yeah. That sucks.
yeah,
Oh, but what was I going to say? I had something I was going to ask you. Regarding Oh, you said that Aaron Rodgers has game sense and that that would be a good factor when considering bringing him onto the Browns as a mentor. Uh, that being said, it seems like Shadur, yeah,
yeah.
Shadur Sanders. I mean, from what you were, I don't know too much about him, but you're talking about him like he's the hot QB to look out for
Well,
this season.
here's some stats to give you. He threw for 4,134 passing yards, had 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, a completion percentage of 74%. And I don't know how college does their quarterback rating, but his rating was a 168.2.
Okay, I mean that all sounds great alone. I would love to know how that fares up with with his peers that
Uh,
are also coming into the draft.
Cameron Ward threw for 4,313 yards, 39
Okay.
touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 67% completion percentage, and a 172.2 passer rating.
Okay. Okay. That makes more sense. That being said, and then considering the whole thing about game sense, this is Deion Sanders' kid. Would you acknowledge that perhaps he has a little bit of an advantage at that point as well, considering that
Yes,
he's like the son of this legend?
right, but like I just think the there is a large jump in skill going
No,
from
you're
college
right.
to the NFL.
You're right. And well, yeah, obviously. But if we're going about advantages and knowing the game, knowing play routes, especially professional play routes, knowing I feel like Deion Sanders has insight as what you could expect from the league as opposed to someone that is like, very that has the stats that going in fresh, going in not knowing anything, or just based off assumptions. I'm sure this kid has been on the field just looking at watching his dad just play, and his dad probably has stories and advice and a lot to
Right.
tell him.
But
Hmm.
you got to remember, like you can give someone all the prep in the world, you can give them all the tips and tricks and everything like that, but until you get into that
That
sphere,
was
it's very very different.
That was going to be my next point. Like, yes, it's great that Sanders is his dad, but also we've kind of seen that happen in other instances in the NFL. The one I can think of the most right now is Jerry Rice Jr. We drafted Jerry Rice Jr. He's been on the Chargers receiving core, but he hasn't touched the field. And that's Jerry Rice's kid.
Right.
Yeah, come on.
Again, I
But
will see what happens, but that just to me
yeah.
that makes if we're just gonna look on hypotheticals, that would make the most sense to me.
So is this kid? So this guy is one of the hot, like he's one of the hot guys to look out for in the draft.
Yes. Out of all the other quarterbacks, I've been scrolling. Um. Oh. The other. I guess the third top quarterback in the pick would be Jackson Dart from Ole Miss, 4,279 yards, 29 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 69 completion percentage. Nice. And a 180 quarterback rating, passer rating.
Nice, nice.
Um, Jalen Milrow of Alabama, 2,844 passing yards, 16 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 64% percentage completions, and 148 passer rating. Quinn E Ewers
Viewers.
Ewers, yeah, 3,474 passing yards, 31 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 65 completion percentage, 149 on the passer rating.
I see. I see.
Let's see if there's anyone else.
I'm taking a well. I'm taking a look at the top five according to Bucky Brooks, football analyst. But yeah, he's pretty much he's pretty much the Caleb Williams of this season.
Yeah. So
Cam Ward. Why does that sound familiar? I mean, there's a lot of Wards in the
because
NFL, aren't there?
who was it? Pittsburgh Steelers. Oh,
Hines Ward.
yeah.
I was really hoping you wouldn't remember him, but yeah. that guy he comes up in my nightmares every now and then. No, that guy was awful. Anyway,
And
uh
then for me, the last thing I got as far as news goes is Saints hire the Eagles offensive coordinator Kellen Moore as their head coach. So,
what do you think? How do you think he's going to perform?
I
I
mean,
mean, he hasn't exactly produced much with the Saints, or sorry, with he was with the Eagles. You said?
yeah, as their offensive coordinator.
Oh well, never mind there. You know, it sucks. The Chargers had him for offensive coordinator, and he didn't do anything.
You know, I mean, I've never had much faith in the. Yeah, I mean, that comes from the front office and then the head coach. And the head coach doesn't really know what
It's
he's doing. It's kind of like the
mm,
rest will
oh
suffer.
man, imagine what he could have done under
Harbaugh,
Harbaugh.
yeah, true, true.
Mm,
I mean, the Saints really didn't do too great this year, so upside. All you can think about is up. The floor is already like probably as low as it can get, so you can only go up.
the this is the or are we going to witness another Pete Carroll effect?
I don't
Just
know. We'll see.
uh,
We'll see.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It'll be interesting. Considering he's an offensive coordinator going to the Saints, you think it's going to become a very offensive type team? They've always kind of been.
Yeah, I mean, you got. I think the wide receiver core looked pretty good even with all the injuries. That one I can't even remember his name. But it was like MVS or something like that. Who like
Who?
stepped up. One of the Saints wide receivers
Oh,
that stepped up with all the injuries. He had a really like long name, but I think his name acronym was like MVS or something like that. The dude could catch bombs like all day long. Like,
Okay.
um, you have I mean, I guess you still stick with Spencer Rattler and maybe hope that he's developed in the offseason. Taysom Hill
Is
is a
Derek
tight end.
Carr still on there?
He might still be a part of their team, but I don't know if he's going to be starting or not. I have no idea who they'll go with as their starter for the quarterback.
I gotta re-educate myself on the current rosters, dude. I feel like such an old person because I'm over here still in the Derek Carr era. I'm, you know, I'm still like I'm. When I think Derek Carr, I'm still thinking of the Raiders. And then,
No,
who did they end up trading for? Who's like the on who's a quarterback on the current roster?
Minshew is their current quarterback.
Yeah, you see, that's not who I was thinking. I was thinking of someone else. Who was I
Yeah,
thinking?
see, I was also this the reason why I'm kind of adept with at least some of the people on certain teams is again I was going through rosters in the draft for or
There's
rosters
just
in the fantasy football in our during our fantasy football season. Like I was going through
it.
all rosters constantly looking
Oh,
at
you're
stuff.
right. Yeah. But like it seems like nowadays, excuse me. It seems nowadays that there's just so many more moves and compared to how it used to be. Like you got these quarterbacks going everywhere. You got head coaches going everywhere. You got like there's so many more. Am I like paying attention more now, or are just people moving a lot more than they used to?
Um, might be a lot more moving than they're than we're probably used to. I think a lot of it just kind of feels like that a lot of teams are trying to build like the best they can each and every year to like win it all, and it
Of
doesn't feel like
course.
there's. I don't think some franchises are being patient with like actually the rebuilding process because they don't know how to effectively rebuild, and that comes down from the GMs. So
Hmm. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. They could be a. Excuse me. Jeez. They could be a little impatient.
I hate you.
Oh, you fought the yawn.
Yes, yes, I fought it. But yeah, so it's kind of all I got for news. It's kind of really all I think was necessarily um interesting. Again, not a lot's going on. We won't probably hear a lot till the combine. But if I for where are we at? I think we could jump into the fantasy portion of the show, if you will. Unless, again, like you said, if you got anything news related or something you wanted to talk about. I know you said you didn't really have much.
Nah, I'm kind of flying by your notes at the moment.
All right, cool. All right, so what I wanted to talk about for upcoming fantasy football is players to look forward to that were rookies last year. That maybe some people slept on or some people held on to and they didn't necessarily perform in their rookie year, but I think these are players who either still perform good and we can look forward to drafting them and not getting caught up in maybe like a 9 or 10 year veteran who's not going to perform. But again, it's all like, I think it's just luck of the draw and
Let me
whatever.
ask you. Sorry to interrupt, but like in your um on your fantasy team, how many rookies did you draft?
I had, um, out of the ones that I'm looking at on this list, I did draft Malik Neighbors,
Okay, yeah.
and then I was able to pick up Brock Bowers later in the season. Um, I had Brian Thomas Jr. for a little while, um, but that was about it as far as my list on the current list that I'm looking at for rookies. I think, and I kind of had
Hmm.
Malik Neighbors starting every single game that I
Yeah,
could.
you
So
had high hopes for that guy.
I mean,
I mean, I had high hopes for him too. He was on my draft list as well. But the Giants, man. Anyway, now I didn't make any changes to my fantasy team at all, but I had Marvin Harrison Jr. and I had Caleb Williams.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah.
So I will run down this list slowly. So it'll if you have anything you want to interject. These are in no particular order. They're just I think rookies that either like I said, either statistically played well last year or I think have good upside that maybe didn't get the ball a lot, but will actually be used in offensive. I think most of these are offensive players. I guess I should preface with that because that's probably where most of your points or most of the points are going to be coming from.
Right. Okay.
As far as individual players go. So
Mm-hmm.
obviously, I mean, this is number one, but I think it goes without saying Jaden Daniels. I think he can do it again next year.
Yeah.
Definitely for a
100%.
quarterback, you want someone to look at. Luke McCaffrey.
Did he produce at all this season?
I don't think so.
I
But
haven't
let
heard.
me.
I haven't heard much about him. Didn't he get injured as well?
Um, play 17 games played. He only had 18 receptions,
Hmm.
1,000 or not 1,000, 168 yards. So
Yeah. Okay. Who else?
let's see, Lad McConkey on the
Oh
Chargers.
yes. Oh man, what a great season he had.
Uh,
Fantastic season.
agreed. I'm gonna botch this name so bad. Um, Kimani Vidal.
Vidal.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he was good too.
Brock Bowers. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, I think it goes without saying. Um, Jalen McMillan.
From
I should have put who these players were playing from.
Millen and Wife.
He also played for Washington.
Oh, okay.
Or no, my apologies. I take that one back. He played for the Buccaneers. 13 games played, 37 receptions, 461 yards.
Okay. Uh, what about who else? Who else?
Bucky Irving, also on Tampa Bay. Um, running back. I think he did pretty good. Considering that core was banged up all year. Malik Neighbors goes
I was
without
gonna
saying.
say, would you
Draft him
would you
again?
consider him again?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, of course, 100%. I think that as a wide receiver, he's really good. You just need to get a quarterback who actually knows what he's doing, or
Mm.
get one of their young quarterbacks on their team developed to you be able to utilize them a lot better. And on top of that, with the Giants, Tyrone Tracy Jr. As a running back, again, I think the O line needs a lot of work to be able to get their quarterback to give him time to be able to either throw it to Malik Neighbors or get the run game opening up for Tyrone Tracy Jr.
Okay.
Ricky Pearsall is another player.
Niners.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Bo Nix on the Broncos. I think he's a good quarterback
Mm-hmm.
option. And then their running back, Audric Estime. I don't think he really got. I don't think he did much, but I had faith that he'll develop into a probably RB2 option for that team. Brian Thomas Jr. on Jacksonville. That guy was amazing for a wide receiver rookie. Hope to see him perform with a new head coach, and maybe they can actually do something with Trevor Lawrence as their quarterback.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams on Chicago. Hopefully we get some positive. Again, I think more so
Would you argue that Caleb Williams just didn't have a good season because he didn't have anyone to throw it to?
No, I'd argue that the offensive coordinator and head coach didn't really know how to utilize him properly. And again,
Mm,
I think it was down to the O line. I don't think the O line performed that well for him either.
that sucks. To be able to spend so many months looking at a player and then you finally get him and you have no idea what to do with him.
Yeah.
That's awful.
And then for Chicago, their wide receiver Rome Odunze, I think they should utilize him more, or at least give him an opportunity. Then you have on New Orleans. We mentioned him, Spencer Rattler. I think he can do pretty well. Drake May, I think, is also someone to watch out for. I feel confident that the Patriots organization actually knows what they're doing. I feel like they knew what they were doing last year. I just feel like RNG wasn't in their favor.
Hmm. Um, Patriots.
Vrabel's coming back to that team.
Right,
So,
right. Belichick.
yeah. Jalen Polk. I think he's on that. Let me double check.
Are these all mostly quarterback or like offensive players?
Yes.
That's the downside in fantasy. We overlook so many good players because we only have so many positions to consider.
And again, it's the majority of where all your points are going to come from.
Yeah, yeah. No, you're right. You're right. But sometimes defense can pop off.
No, of course. No, Jalen Polk was on New England.
Okay.
He didn't produce much, but I still think it's someone to look out for that they could possibly start utilizing a little bit more, with it being his sophomore year.
Absolutely.
Marvin Harrison Jr., I don't think you should give up on him. I just think that was just unfortunate for just the.
I think he has a good team to develop from.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, I'll give him some time.
Trey Benson is someone else I would look at. He also was on the Cardinals. Their running back. 13 games played, 291 yards. I don't think that's too terrible for a rookie.
No, not at all. I think any what about running backs? Because I think out of all the positions to select in there, running back is probably one of the tougher positions in my opinion.
Well,
Those are the ones that are getting hurt the most, it seems.
There are a few more that I've gotten here. These are, again, I should have put their positions down, but I figured it's just easier to like throw names out there and people could remember.
I don't remember many rookie names, dude.
Michael Penix Jr. is another one to look at. I think he will take over for Kirk Cousins and as their starter going forward. Braylon Allen, who Jets running back.
Okay. Jets.
Yeah, I know, right? He had 334 yards last year out of 92 attempts. So played it for all 17 games. I think it was RB2. So I think there's some upside there. He's got some games in. Probably will do better, I would imagine. I don't know. I think most of these running backs will go from there like 200, 300, or less than season. I think they can easily get 500 across the board. Who else? Xavier Leggett. I think he was a wide receiver.
Yeah, you know a lot more about the rookies than I do.
Yeah, Xavier Leggett. He played for the Panthers. 497 yards as a rookie. 49 receptions. So he had some targets. Or he had 83 targets, so he completed like more than half of his targets as catches. So let's see who else was. Jonathan Brooks, another running back on the Panthers. You have Xavier Worthy as a wide receiver on the Kansas City Chiefs, and you saw some flash in the pan. Near the end, he caught that deep bomb, even though it didn't matter. At the end of the game, Ray Davis, running back on for Buffalo. I mean, again, it just depends on how good James Cook does. Obviously, he gets some shared playing time there. And then last but not least, JJ McCarthy on Minnesota. If he is healthy and doesn't get injured again, I think he'll definitely be a quarterback to look out for. Maybe not like a starting pick, but definitely like maybe a pick you want to put in the rotation. QB2. I would definitely keep I mean, if you have to start him, start him. But like, I think he's something good. Someone you can keep on the bench.
I believe you.
That's all my picks. That's pretty much all I got.
Yeah, I think look, that's why I like the combine, because it's kind of like it narrows down the research. Like the combine takes away the fact that I didn't watch anything college football related, but these are the players to look out for. And then based on what I saw, in this past season with in the NFL, I could determine, where they would make the best fit. In my opinion, obviously, I'm not like an expert on it or anything, but yeah. And as far as these current rookies go, yeah, I think it's because I didn't watch combine last season is why I'm not too familiar with them.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond the notable playmakers,
right. So,
but it should be. I don't know. I do want to watch. I do want to watch combine this season, and hope for another wiener slip. But no, but these it's good to watch so that you, like you said, I mean, I want to be a little more educated on the rookies next season, so I at least know what I'm talking about next time we have a discussion like this.
Right. I mean, it's just more of, I think it's like, I would at least like to try to advocate for like a lot of the younger guys that there, don't give hope up. Regardless of, even outside of fantasy, if they're your team, you don't play fantasy and you're rooting for them, I feel like these are still guys you don't want to give up hope within their.
Oh no. And these are rookies, dude. They have their if they're not injured, they have their entire career ahead of them. They just got to keep on the grind.
Exactly.
It's gotten them this far.
Right. But I think that's all I really got for fantasy. That's all I really wanted to talk about. Just highlight some players to look out for. Keep on your favorites lists going forward. Obviously, we won't know any more about the new rookies till the combine, and then after that, then it's kind of, maybe we'll get
the draft.
Either projected picks or mock drafts, see if those come to fruition, or you'll maybe get some crazy like trade ups.
Whatever roster changes to the staff.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I hate you.
Hey, I didn't yawn that time.
You started it though.
What? Oh, the yawn? Sure.
Yeah, you did the first one, and now I can't fucking stop.
Well, I ain't yawning anymore.
So that's all I got for this podcast. Not really. I mean, outside of the beginning was the most like meat and potatoes of it.
Unfortunately, the pickings get a little slim in the off season.
Right.
But I think it's fine. I didn't realize that the combine was that close, so I think we're going to be okay.
We'll have something to talk about definitely for next episode for sure.
Oh yeah.
I'll have my list. You'll have your list. I'm sure we'll be able to compare and contrast. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Alrighty.
Yeah, that's all I got. I'm tapped out. Unless you got anything you want to talk about, any tangent, anything you have, any questions, concerns, comments.
Nah, not at the moment. I'm sure I'll think of something next episode.
Cool, cool. All right. Well, this is gonna call it for us for our, I guess, first official episode since the last one was a pilot. I got nothing. I'm tapped out. I'm good. So, y'all have a good one. We will see you guys next time. As always, I appreciate you guys hanging out, and we'd also appreciate any of y'all's feedback in the comments down below. And yeah, we're just gonna keep rolling with the punches and keep evolving and leveling up our podcast game. So yeah,
Stick around. There's a lot more football fun to come.
yeah, I'm about to get some spicy with my picks for the Columbine results. So
Is that right?
yeah, maybe, I don't know. We'll see. We'll either agree on stuff or we'll disagree.
Yeah, we'll see. It should be interesting.
Yeah. All right. I'm out. We're out. Bye. See you guys next week or next time. I don't know. We're doing this whenever. Fuck it.
On the cup, and so you gotta, you gotta get in there a little bit.
Oh, we love it. Eat it up.